Miss Kristen of the Oosterhout Free Library. What do popsicles, swim fins, and television have in common? Why, they were all invented by kids, which is pretty cool. Today, I'm going to share with you a book called The Boy Who Invented the Popsicle, the cool science behind Frank Epperson's famous frozen treat. Then, we'll do a simple, cool experiment of our own. January 17th was Kid Inventor's Day, which also happened to be Benjamin Franklin's birthday. Benjamin Franklin is said to have invented the swim fins that divers wear in the ocean when he was just 12 years old. Philo Farnsworth invented television when he was 18. If you'd like to learn more about them or other kid inventors, you can check out these books available at the library, and I'll put the link in the description box below. Now, let's get started with the book, The Boy Who Invented the Popsicle. The Boy Who Invented the Popsicle, written by Anne Renaud and illustrated by Milan Pavlovic, published by Kids Can Press. Frank William Epperson knew what he wanted to be when he grew up, and everyone in Frank's family knew too, because in case they forgot, he reminded them often. I want to be a great inventor. When not busy with his schoolwork or chores, Frank could be found adventuring with his brother Cray, practicing his coronet, or learning magic tricks, abracadabra. He also pondered important questions. Do goldfish sleep? Do ants have ears? Do woodpeckers get headaches from pecking all day? But Frank's favorite pastime was inventing, and to invent, Frank knew he had to experiment. So off he would go to his laboratory, his back porch. There he doodled and designed, tinkered and tested, analyzed and scrutinized. By the time Frank was 10 years old, he had already masterminded his first invention, a handcart with 2 handles. At twice the speed of a regular one-handled handcar, Frank whizzed down the streets of his neighborhood. Woohoo! Hot dog! Frank also experimented with liquids. But what Frank loved most was experimenting with flavored soda waters, the kind that hissed and wheezed when he held a glassful to his ear, and sent tangy bubbles galloping across his tongue with every gulp. Frank had his heart set on inventing the yummiest, most thirst-quenching, lip-smacking soda water drink ever. So off Frank would go to the corner store to buy the flavored soda water powders that he needed for his experiments, often with his little brother Cray tagging along. Hi, Big Ep. Hi, Little Ep. Cray was a handy taster for Frank's concoctions. Some of his attempts were unsuccessful. You could even say they were disastrous. Blah. But Frank just kept on trying. One day, Frank and the other children in the neighborhood decided to build a miniature amusement park. There was a theater, a merry-go-round, and a scenic railway. Frank was assigned the soda water stand, which suited him just fine. He could share his soda water creations with all of his friends. It was also around this time that something peculiar happened. The temperature dipped and then plunged. This would not have been unusual had Frank lived in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, or Pocatello, Idaho, where it could be bitterly cold in the winter. But he lived in San Francisco, California, where only rarely did the temperature drop below freezing. So Frank tried another experiment. He left a glass of flavored soda water outside overnight. I wonder what this drink will taste like frozen. When he woke the next morning, Frank ran to his back porch to discover that his soda water had frozen solid. He could no longer sip it. He had to lick it like a lollipop. Frank had invented a frozen drink on a stick. Woohoo! Hot dog! As he grew older, Frank's invention did not melt from his memory. He just tucked it away in a corner of his mind. And there it stayed while he and his sweetheart, Mary Frances, began raising their gaggle of children. But when Frank noticed more and more people eating chocolate-covered ice cream bars, off he went to his laboratory, now his garage, to experiment. Could I make money with my frozen drink invention? What if I used fruit juices? Frank found a way to make many of his drinks on a stick at the same time, with test tubes to mold them. Wooden sticks to hold them? And a cool way to freeze them. Woohoo! Hot dog! For Frank's drinks on a stick to freeze, they had to be cold. Very cold. Colder than 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the freezing point of water. Why? Because their ingredients, like sugar and flavoring, lowered their freezing point. So, what did Frank do? He built a freezing box that held dozens of test tubes, suspended in a mixture of crushed ice and salt. Frank knew that salt lowered the freezing point of water, and that salty water froze at a much lower temperature than plain tap water. The salt and ice mixture would be colder than 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Frank's drinks on a stick also had to freeze quickly. If they froze too slowly, the sugar and flavoring, which were heavier than water, settled at the bottom of the test tubes, leaving just flavorless frozen water at the top. Frank wanted his treats to have the same tasty flavor throughout. The salt and crushed ice mixture surrounding the test tubes was so cold it froze the liquid inside the test tubes in minutes. Frank named his invention the Popsicle and began selling it for a nickel at county fairs and beaches. In the evenings, his children helped him roll the nickels that he had earned. Frank had a clever way to encourage shop owners to sell his frozen treats. For several weeks in a row, he sent one of his children into a store to buy an Popsicle. Each week, the shop owner had to tell a different child that Popsicles were not sold in the store. Frank would then visit the store himself and ask the shop owner to stock his treats. Of course, the owner agreed after having had so many requests. Frank's children were always keen to sample their father's confections. "Hey, Pop, could we have a sickle? Orange is my favorite." And with all of them clamoring for their Pop's tasty fabrications, in time, the name of Frank's invention changed to the Popsicle.
The end.
Thanks to Frank Epperson's delicious discovery, we can all enjoy popsicles today. But that may not have happened if he didn't leave his fizzy drink mixture outside on a cold day when he was a kid. You see, water freezes at 32 degrees, and that is called the freezing point of water, the temperature where liquid water changes to solid ice. Frank Epperson knew that in order for the popsicle mixture to freeze, it would need to be colder than 32 degrees. But how was he going to do that? How do you get a liquid colder than 32 degrees? Let's explore with an easy experiment. All you need is some water, some salt, 2 glasses or containers, and a freezer. Let's get started.
You'll need 2 drinking glasses, 4 tablespoons of salt, and about 2 cups of lukewarm water. What to do? Pour 1 cup of lukewarm water into each glass. Then add salt to one of the glasses and mix well until the salt is fully dissolved. Now put both glasses of water into the freezer and wait 3 hours. Well, what happened? Were both glasses frozen? Try it out for yourself. Now remember that water becomes ice when it reaches 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But what if there's something else in the water? Something like sodium chloride or salt, or even sugar in the juices. Will that lower the water's freezing point? Try it and find out. Oh, and one more thing. Touch the glass of salty water. Does it feel colder than the glass of frozen water? Cool. You can also try creating your own popsicles. Mix different flavors together and find out if some take longer than others to freeze. And why do you think that might happen? You can also check out the book from the library to learn more about Frank Epperson and other cool experiments.
Well, I hope you had fun. I hope you keep exploring, and I'll see you next time. Bye.